we have here is a very normal people's car, family car, and people's electric family car. Is the MG5. So this is the only all-electric small estate there is, and well, let's have a closer look at it. So this car, it will be replaced by the MG4 estate, at least that's the rumor I read somewhere. But this MG5, it looks very interesting. I mean, we have this sort of a design looking a little bit like a fish. Of course, you are cooling the battery through here, and the interesting thing is that you charge the battery from the front, which I think is good positioning for it. You come to the all sort of different chargers, so I think this is the good position for accessibility of it. Really good. Then of course you have LED lights, which is nice, and being an estate, it's also quite aerodynamic. I didn't find the correct data, but I believe it's around 0.28, the aerodynamic coefficient of the car. Now let's go to the side of the car, let's go to the front wheels. So we have these small 16-inch wheels with a tire of 205/60 R16, so quite a tall sidewall, which gives you really good comfort. It's quite a comfortable car. And in terms of caster, we have a good caster here on the front, which gives you that good feeling, which makes the car lean onto the outside rear wheel when cornering. Now, from the side, in terms of the wheelbase, we have a 2.65 meter wheelbase. So yeah, it's quite alright. And I like the conception of the car that the space in between the front wheels and where the driver is sitting is sitting like somewhere here, almost behind the middle of the wheelbase, which is correct, I think. And in terms of the geometry of the wheels, we are running negative cambers on both axles, more at the front, and the rear wheel has a slight toe in. Right, and on the rear we have I think it's a torsion suspension, not multi-link. Now coming to the rear, we have LED lights with a nice Y signature. You have the big electric MG5 badge, and then as we go to the boot, this is the advantage of the estate that we are forgetting nowadays with the SUVs. So we have, in terms of capacity of the boot, well, we have 479 liters of capacity here in the boot, and it's very accessible. As you can see, it's very wide, this opening. You also have this nice floor here with the MG badging, really cool. You have side netting on both sides, really good practical boot, has to be said. And then when you fold down the seat, it's even bigger. I think it was around 1600 something liters. So really good and really accessible. And now let's also, as usually, have a look at how the seating in the back is. So this is sitting at 2.65 meter wheelbase in MG, and I have to say, for a family, it's quite comfortable. It's very, very decent for 4 person driving, or 3 children. I have good space in all dimensions, so for the knees, for the feet, could be a little bit more, but it's all right. And also for the head, so pretty cool. And in terms of the comfort in the back, so you have huge door beams. You also have a storage here in the handle. You have a central armrest with 2 very small cup holders. You have some storage area here, one USB-A, one USB-C connector, and also down here for the feet you have a very small sort of ventilation. So yeah, I think in terms of space in the back, quite okay and practical. And for the family, the seats in the back, they are quite soft as well, quite nice and comfy, I have to say. Okay, so let's have a look at the engine bay, although what you will see is very typical. And well, here it is. And for holding it, you have this very long needle. And well, let's talk a little bit about the powertrain. So as you can see or not see, there is a big plastic cover here. And in terms of the powertrain, so this is the top of the Ranger that costs 39,900 euros. It has a bigger 61.1 kilowatt hour battery that has a net capacity of 57.7. The difference from the smaller one, which has a 50.3 kilowatt hours gross and 47 net, is that this battery has Li-ion LFP, so lithium phosphate, and this one in this car is NMC battery, so nickel manganese battery, which is slightly better, slightly more efficient. And also the engine, so you have two engines. Well, you have one engine but two powers, so the less powerful one is 156 horsepower and 280 newton meters, and this more powerful one is 218 newton meters and 177 horsepower. And it's a three phase hairpin winding electric motor, which is 30% more efficient than regular electric motors, and it gives the car the dynamics of 0 to 100 kilometers in 8.3 seconds, which is decent, and the top speed of 185 kilometers per hour. And the range, according to WTP, for this car should be 320 kilometers combined, and slightly surprisingly for me, the less powerful one with a smaller battery is rated at 400 kilometers. So yeah, that would be it to the closer look, and now let's take the car further down the road and let's talk about the experience with it. Oh, well, hello and welcome inside the MG5 estate, the only small family estate which is all electric on the market currently. And well, it is quite an older model, we can say, and it is rumored to be that the MG4 estate will replace this car. But anyway, here I am with the test of the car. So first let's talk about the interior of this car, which is a very nice and simple interior, and I do quite like that actually. First of all, the sitting position is quite nice compared to the interior. It's quite low, which I like. It feels like a very compact working facility for the driver, which is good. I like the steering wheel, which has a very nice shape, very good size. It's quite compact, and I also like when I put it in the sports mode. It has a good feel really through it. And then the interior itself, what I like about the interior is this sort of a synthetic leather around the dashboard and on the door handles and on the door cards. It's actually quite nice. You have blue accents here in the interior, which is good. I also like the seats. They are fabric seats, but they are nice and supportive and quite soft and comfortable, which is nice. Then what I like about the interior is that there's not loads of buttons, actually quite simple. So you have this floating screen here rotated to you as a driver, and the infotainment there is very easy to navigate. So you have these shortcut buttons here. So you go home, you can very quickly go to the air conditioning setting, where you can just set it up very quickly like this. It's very user-friendly interface, I have to say. And then when you need to know all the information about the charging, you go here into the charging settings, and you have everything. You have voltage, amperes, state of the charge, estimated range, yeah, everything. It's really nice actually. Then here in the central console, it's a typical EV central console, so you have loads of space here underneath the floating console. You also have the USB connectors there. One is USB-C and one is USB-A, and here on top of it you have these two buttons. One is mode and one is called curse, like from the older days of Formula 1. With this mode button you change driving mode, so you have eco, comfort and sport. I usually drive in sport because I want all of those 177 horsepower. And the other one is curse. So you have three settings of the regen on the battery, and the one is the lowest pre-selected setting. So you always have some regen on. Okay, then you have this rotating knob for the gearbox, and you press it down to put the car into the parking mode, an electronic handbrake with automatic function. Down here then there are two cup holders, quite big, so quite good, and also a decently sized armrest with good space inside, and rubber inserts everywhere so the things don't slide around. Yeah, anyway, I think it's quite a nice interior. Let's get a move on and let's talk a bit about the driving. Maybe here also you can see the rear view camera. It is not the sharpest, but it does the function reasonably well during the using of the car, so I'm okay with that. Okay, so this MG5 is also a reasonably priced car. It only costs, this one costs, well, 40k, but you can get one from 35.5k, so 35,500k. So I think it's actually reasonably priced. You can buy two batteries, as I've said, the smaller one being 50.3 kilowatts, and this bigger one is 61.1. This is the gross capacity. The good thing is about this car is that this car, as it is, has estimated range of 320 kilometers. And now I was driving this car for a longer trip, which consisted mostly from the motorway, and I have to say I was very surprised with the good fuel efficiency, with the good energy efficiency of the car, because I achieved only 18.7 kilowatt hours, which was really good. And I was driving the car as always like a petrol car, so on the motorway 130, 135. So I was very pleasantly pleased with the result. So that means that in the reality you can get quite a decent range from this people's family electric car, which is nice. And why it does that is also because of the combination of the very efficient three-phase electric motor, which is 30% more efficient, the MG states, than the usual type of the electric motor. And also the battery, the Li-ion battery, has the NMC technology, so what is that? Nickel manganese technology, and then that means that the battery can store can have more energy density than some other types, right? So all of this together gives you a really pleasant range and pleasant usability of the car, right? And then there is the driving. Well, you should know, of course, this is a comfortable car, this is a comfortable family car. Really the damping is quite soft. You also have a big sidewall of the tire, so that adds to the comfort, and it's a very pleasant car to drive. Compare and connect it with the seats that are also soft and, yeah, very comfy. It's a very pleasant drive. And also what adds to the comfort is how far from the front wheels is the dashboard and the sitting position. So you're not sitting anywhere close to the front wheel, so the undulations on the road, they don't affect you that much. So it's a very pleasant driving with the car. So that's nice. And then what's nice is of course the practicality and the spaciousness. There is really enough space in the back for the family needs, and also a big enough boot of 479 liters. What more do you need, right? Yeah, so all in all, a nice car. And then with this more powerful variant, you have 177 horsepower, so we can now overtake and see. So you're doing 90 kilometers, you floor it, 100, 110, 120, just like that. So yeah, you have a horsepower per ton ratio somewhere above 100 horsepower per ton, I think 107 and something like this. So I think it's quite decent. And also the MG states 0 to 100 kilometers in 8.3 seconds, which is decent, which is like what you get with the sort of Octavia with 1.5 TSI. really decent dynamics with the car, and the top speed of the car is for an EV quite a decent 185 kilometers if you need to get a move on. Let's now come to the likes and dislikes of the car. And well, there isn't many dislikes really to say, because well, this car is very good at what it's built for. As a family car, it's nice and comfy. It doesn't have really flaws in terms of drive, so it isn't like unsafe to drive in terms of suspension setup. It's actually really nicely set up, and also the overall conception of the car, the way where the crew, where the passengers sit from the front wheels. I think it's very well designed in this regard. And also the interior, well, the quality I think is what you expect from an affordable electric family car. Of course, you don't get the best materials here, but that's what you would expect. Other than that, these materials, they are very well put together, right? And nothing squeaks too much in here, so they are well put together. So I cannot critique that. So yeah, I think this car is mostly about likes. So maybe the only dislike you could say is that it's electric and the range isn't as good as if it was a petrol car. But for an electric car, again, very good range, and for the age of the model itself. So in between the likes, I have to say I really do like the driving part. Even despite being a comfortable car, which is, I think, you can like, it's also a car, well, you could say even a driver can slightly enjoy the car, because you have a nice driving position, very low. Also the adjustability of the steering wheel is nice. Then another nice thing is the steering. So you have quite a big positive cast on the front axle. And that means that the steering is quite naturally heavy. You have a very good feedback from the road. The car leans onto the outside the rear wheel, and the steering is quite precise and quite quick. It's a quite quick steering rack for the car. So yeah, very nicely designed in this regard. So that's good. And well, yeah, I actually have to say I do like this car. Maybe somebody wouldn't like the design, maybe it could be controversial, some people like it, some people don't, but I think it's a car that doesn't annoy you in any way. It's just a nice car, dependable car that's doing a job very well, and I actually quite enjoy this. And then there is the price from 35,000 euros. Well, I think it's a decent price again for an EV. If you're interested in trying an EV and looking for a family car, yeah, definitely you should have a look at this, because it's really nice. Alright, so yeah, I think that would be it to the MG5. A really nice car, very normal, a nice family electric estate. And well, of course, more videos are coming soon, so keep watching, keep subscribing if you found the video useful, and I hope to see you in the very next one. In the meantime, take care of you, and goodbye.